How long should you really stay at your job? In 2024, nearly 95% of American workers are considering making a move. Why? Well, 45% want a bigger paycheck. Job hoppers often see their salaries grow faster than those who stick around. In fact, workers who change jobs see an average salary bump of 5.9% versus just 5.1% for those who stay put. I've seen this firsthand. My salary nearly doubled in a year and a half, and then it kept rising by $15,000 to $40,000 each year after that. But there's a catch. Switching jobs too often can make you an expensive target during tough times. Let's face it, companies expect loyalty, but we're often left holding the bag. The trick is to make it look like you're in it for the long haul, even if you're planning to jump ship. Companies want you to stay for the ride, but how long should you actually stay? Let's break it down. People leave their jobs for a few reasons. First, money. Second, lack of growth opportunities. When it comes to salary, hopping between jobs can be the quickest way to move up. Promotions in your current job might take longer and only open up when someone leaves or the company expands. Especially for Gen Z, the desire for career growth is 36% stronger than other generations. They'll often leave if there's a better opportunity, even if it's within the same field. And the best part? The power of negotiation. Job boards make it easy to see what's out there, and you can usually negotiate more with a recruiter than your boss. Workers also leave for better benefits, a healthier work culture, or just to escape toxic environments. But it's important to realize that a high paycheck doesn't guarantee happiness. Look at industries like investment banking and law. They pay well but have some of the lowest employee satisfaction ratings. For some, it's simply about feeling unfulfilled or lacking new challenges. When I was early in my career, I set a goal. By 30, I wanted enough experience to start a consulting firm. So every job I took had to teach me something new. If I wasn't learning, I moved on. It's all about aligning your career with your personal goals. As we get older, our priorities shift. Now, it's not just about the paycheck. It's about how your career fits into your life. It's okay to leave if the timing is right for you, but be smart about it. The average American stays in a job for 3 to 4 years. But it's interesting. Workers in their 20s stay in roles for less than 1.5 years, while older workers tend to stick around much longer. That's the difference between early career exploration and later career stability. The idea of sticking with one company forever is a thing of the past. In fact, people born between 1957 and 1964 held an average of 12.7 jobs by the time they were 56. Back then, pensions and job loyalty were rewarded. But today, that's not always the case. Job hopping might help you get a higher salary, but there's a downside, leaving behind long-term benefits like 401k matches. Some employers require you to stay a while before you can keep those contributions. However, staying long-term can also pay off. The people who stick it out are often the ones at the top. Now, strategy matters. In your 20s, switching jobs isn't as risky. You have the freedom to explore and figure out what you want. But as you get older, it's important to be more intentional with your career moves. You don't want to make a huge mistake when you're 35. Rather than focusing on time, experts recommend asking, "What have I accomplished?" Skills matter more than staying for years just to collect a paycheck. If you've gained the experience and confidence you need, then it might be time for a change. It's also important to think about the bigger picture. I took a $20,000 pay cut to switch jobs, but it was worth it for the experience I gained. And within a year and a half, I was making double what I had before. Long-term loyalty can still pay off, but there's a balance. Companies promote slowly, so if you're there just 2 years, you might miss the next opportunity. The real question isn't how long you stay. It's about when to move on and what you've learned along the way. In January 2024, the Glassdoor Confidence Index hit its lowest point in nearly a decade. The job market is tough. Gen Z is especially feeling the pressure. They're struggling with burnout, with 2/3 saying they'd quit without another job lined up. But here's the catch. 75% of Gen Z workers would still quit without another job in hand. So always be strategic. Keep your options open. Don't chase the next paycheck. but think long-term about your career. When you're younger, your career moves can be more exploratory, but by your 30s, you need to know where you're headed. Be smart. Your career path should be intentional, because at the end of the day, it's your future. So whether you stay or leave, make sure you're moving towards something that adds value to your life and career. There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but you've got to make the choice that works best for you. That's it. Think about your next move carefully and make it count.